Welcome, adventurers. Today we are going to build out an investigator. This is based on some of the feedback on the investigator video. And in that, I was thinking about that idea of devise a stratagem against target A. If you're not going to land a hit, then move over to attack target B. But I was kind of thinking, I don't know how many times in actual scenarios you will be standing in between two creatures and won't have to take a stride action in between. So how to overcome that? And then I thought, aha, with a ranged weapon. So we are going to build a ranged investigator that will be pretty martially focused and hopefully will be a pretty good party buff in addition to a damage dealer. So let's dive in. Starting, of course, with an ancestry. I've already picked this out. I am going to go with a gnoll. I like gnolls for alchemists, for inventors, for investigators, because they are strength and intelligence boosted. That is really good for, well, your key ability score, and then also doing some extra damage with that strength. And then you still have this one free boost. I'm going to use that for dexterity because the investigator is light armored and will be a ranged build in this case. The flaw to wisdom, that hurts a little bit, considering that as an investigator, you will be doing perception checks and things. So if you really wanted to do more of the exploration, really be good at those perception, those trap finding, all those things that you do as an investigator, then you might want to pick a different ancestry. But I'm going to go with Null. As far as the background goes, I really like the Null ancestry for sort of the witch doctor flavor you get, and this is going to be a witch doctor sort of investigator. This is not a roaming the city streets and, wearing a buttoned up shirt and tie and figuring things out like in the gentlemanly Sherlock Holmes way. This is going to be sort of a nature-based, almost rangery kind of build. So we're going to go with Root Worker. And this will give us the Root Magic skill feat, which will lean into the sort of party healer and party buff aspect of this build. There we go. And then, of course, the class is, we're talking about Investigator. So there we go. Now let's set our abilities. Not going to change anything here. Dexterity is what I want. Strength, intelligence, wisdom. And then I'm going to go all in on intelligence and dexterity where I can. So let's boost those two. I'm going to build strength, boost strength one more time. And then I'm going to invest in wisdom to sort of offset that flaw. And that should do it. Okay, skill training. There's so much here because investigators have so many skills. You can kind of pick what you want. I like going acrobatics, athletics. Athletics is really handy, being able to climb, things like that. Acrobatics is good because of escape actions. We've got this lore herbalism already, which is great. We won't need medicine because I will go with the forensic methodology here. And the only other thing that I think is going to be pretty important for this build is deception. Everything else after this, you can kind of just pick what you want. This is a good time to talk to your party, see what your party has covered, what might be most helpful. So I'll just kind of pick some random things here. Let's do a little Arcana. Sure. Already boosted on occultism. That's great. We'll do stealth. That will actually be healthy. Survival. I actually think survival is kind of important for fitting the witch doctor theme of this build, so maybe pick that, and then for that reason pick nature as well. Cool. On to the heritage. I'm going to take the witch gnoll again for that witch doctor idea, but also for this. In addition, you gain a +1 circumstance bonus to checks to impersonate, okay, and create a diversion. We're going to be creating a diversion as this build, so that is going to be really important for this. Ancestry feats. We're going to go Pack Hunter. In the Investigator video, it was mentioned that the Investigator is a class that can be used, especially if you know you're not going to hit with the Devise a Stratagem, to aid your allies and do some buffing. And with Pack Hunter, you gain a +2 circumstance bonus to checks to aid, and for your allies gain a +2 circumstance bonus to checks to aid you. So that is really going to lean into that buffing other people. And then finally, the class feat. I like known weakness for this, and for this reason. First of all, recalling knowledge, especially as such a high intelligence-based creature, is a good idea. That is also why investing in nature makes sense here, so that you can maybe land a successful recall knowledge check against things out in the wild. And if you do so, you notice a weakness and gain a +1 circumstance bonus to your attack roll from devise a stratagem. So you will be rolling a +8 rather than a +7 on that attack roll, and that is really, really good. Finally, the methodology. I am going to go with forensic medicine. Again, this is the witch doctor. This is a super, super handy subclass. The forensic acumen and battle medicine skill feats. Battle medicine is a great thing to have in your party, especially picking it up at level 1. That usually doesn't happen. And then not only do you have battle medicine, and you get to use your intelligence for your medicine checks. Actually, do you get to use intelligence for medicine checks? I think so. Let me double check on that. But the whole using battle medicine once an hour rather than once a day, and recovering additional hit points equal to your level. I'm just going to double check on forensic acumen just to make sure I'm not terrible at medicine while trying to be a medic. Understand the principle of magic. You can perform a forensic. Oh yeah, this. Oh, so maybe I'm confusing the chirurgeon with this methodology. I don't think you do apply your intelligence to your medicine checks, so I do need to make sure to actually invest in medicine. I did a bit, so oh well, it's not super high medicine, but that's okay. Whatever, we'll leave it. Okay, now on to the martially side of this build. I am going to pick... I wish I could pick the composite short bow, but it's too expensive. So we're going to go with just the short bow for now. Now, as soon as we can, we are going to upgrade to the composite short bow once we gain some funds, some access to some gold and whatnot. The reason we'll do that is the composite short bow has that, what is it, propulsive traits? What is it called again? Composite short bow, yeah, propulsive, which means we will be able to add half of our strength, which is +2, to damage. So once we upgrade to that composite short bow, we will add 1 point of damage to each of our strikes, which is pretty handy. Ranged weapons don't do a ton of damage. That's sort of the trade-off of being back in safety and using that range to protect you. So adding 1 static point of damage is really helpful. Not only that, but this is a weapon we can use with strategic strike, which is great. And because this is ranged, you can devise a stratagem on target A, and if you will miss, you're kind of saying, I don't have a shot on that creature. No problem. You don't even need to move. You don't need to reload, nothing like that, and you just shoot at another target. I think that really gets around the problem of needing to devise a stratagem, discover that you're not going to land a hit, and then have to move and make an attack elsewhere. You don't have to do that. No action attacks, just stand in place, see if you've got a shot. If not, move somewhere else. Let's go ahead and just make sure to get some studded leather. Raise our armor class. And then, we'll do the adventurers pack, of course. And there we go. And then I suppose we will need healer's tools if we are going to be a healer, huh? All right, and that should do it for the gear. And that's really it for the level 1 build, but let's talk about some of the things that we can do here. Starting with devise a stratagem. If you can't make the strike, shoot at a different target. It's that simple. That's really, really handy with the short bow. Here's some other ideas though. Devise a stratagem, miss a crit by 2 or less, so by 1 or 2. Use your second action to create a diversion. And remember, create a diversion is aided by your witch null ancestry. So let's just remind ourselves of that. The witch null, in addition, you gain a +1 circumstance bonus to checks to impersonate and create a diversion when using only your voice. So you can pull the classic, look over there, use your voice, they look. That will make them flat-footed to your next strike, including a ranged strike, dropping their armor class by 2, and then you might be able to land that hit or upgrade a hit into a crit, which is awesome because you have a short bow, which has the deadly D10 trait. Here are some other ideas. If you devise a stratagem, you miss, and there are no other options. Now you go ahead and aid someone. Because remember, Pack Hunter you gain a bonus to aid. So if you are not going to be able to land a strike in a particular round, maybe there's only one target left and you devise a stratagem and you're going to miss, well then go full aid for everyone else. You could even aid multiple allies so that multiple people have a chance to land their strike. And then finally, also remember to recall knowledge when using devise a stratagem because of known weakness. I'm going to copy all that actually. So here is another thing you can do to buff yourself and your allies. If you successfully recall knowledge against the target of your devise a stratagem, you're going to gain a +1 circumstance bonus to your attack roll. Correction, only if you critically succeed at that recall knowledge check roll. And again, if maybe that +1 circumstance bonus and even create a diversion isn't going to help. You maybe crit failed on your devise a stratagem roll. Well, you can both aid your allies and you can share this knowledge as options to help out the rest of your party land a hit. So I think in the end, we're just going to kind of call it there. Fill out the rest of the levels as you level up after playing with your party and seeing what's working and what's not working. You'll probably want to become an expert in medicine as quickly as you can. That is a little bit of a downside of this build, is that just kind of +0 on wisdom, but oh well. If you really needed a healer in your party, then I would maybe swap some of that strength for wisdom. But I think this will be really successful. I think that being able to hit multiple targets from one spot due to that ranged weapon with a 0 reload will be really helpful. I think that being able to create a diversion with that bonus if you need a little bit of help landing a hit will also be really helpful. And then finally, you have 2 really good options from your Pack Hunter bonus to aid and from being able to share information with known weakness to help you and your allies land hits. So that's it. I hope you enjoy it. Maybe try it out. Let me know how it goes. That's all for now, adventurers.